Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not important for the relationship to continue, but for the relationship to be a reason for your growth in life." We find ourselves surrounded by relationships that form part of our identity. Sometimes these relationships are like a light guiding us toward wisdom and peace, and other times they turn into chains that weigh down our souls. Today we will talk about a difficult but necessary moment in a person's life, which is the moment when a relationship must end, even if it is with the closest people to us. Stoicism teaches us that life is based on inner harmony. If we live in a relationship that destroys this harmony, continuing it becomes a betrayal of ourselves. Epictetus says, "We do not control what others do, but we control our reactions." So how can we face relationships that drain us? If you are ready to change your perspective on these relationships and learn how to deal with toxic people in your life, you are in the right place. Stay with us in this episode, because what we will talk about today may change the way you look at your relationships forever. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any new episodes. And if you liked the video, hit the like button. I would also love to hear from you in the comments. Share your thoughts and experiences about relationships that you feel affect you, or even if you have been through a similar experience. We are here to exchange ideas and advice, and I'm sure everyone will benefit from your contribution. Let's begin now. Repeated disrespect. Disrespect, my friend, is the most dangerous poison that can shatter any relationship, whether it's a relationship with a friend, a life partner, or even a family member. Let me tell you something that may seem simple, but is very profound. Respect is not just kind words or temporary actions. It is the essence of the relationship, its true spirit. Without respect, the relationship becomes like a tree without roots. It may look strong on the outside, but it is actually dead on the inside, just waiting for the next storm to bring it down. When someone insults you or treats you as if you are less valuable than them, they are not just belittling you, they are belittling everything you bring to the relationship. Imagine, my friend, that you plant a seed in the ground, water it and care for it, but it refuses to sprout, refuses to grow. Here you must ask yourself, is the problem with the seed or with the soil you chose? Stoicism teaches us to preserve our dignity, no matter the cost. Marcus Aurelius used to say, "Do not let others extinguish the light of your soul." And yet, many of us allow repeated insults to leave scars on our souls, as if we are trying to earn the love of others at the expense of respecting ourselves. But let me ask you, what will remain of you if you sacrifice your dignity? What will remain if you allow insults to become a normal part of your life? Repeated insults are not just passing words. They are like acid rain that falls on your soul day after day, gradually burning away everything beautiful inside you. My friend, you must understand that remaining silent in the face of disrespect is not a sign of strength. It is a sign that you have stopped respecting yourself. And here you must make the decision that may be the hardest, but also the noblest. To walk away, not out of hatred, not out of revenge, but because you believe that your dignity is the cornerstone of your inner peace. I am not saying that you should cut ties easily, but when you see that respect has disappeared and appreciation has evaporated, you must ask yourself, does this relationship deserve your time? Does it deserve your soul? Always remember, my friend, that someone who does not respect you today will not value you tomorrow, and someone who does not see your worth will never see it, no matter what you do. Emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation, my dear, is one of the most dangerous things you can face in any relationship. Why? Because it is not always obvious. Sometimes you find yourself in a situation where you feel that the problem is you, that you are always at fault, that you are the one who doesn't do enough, while the truth is entirely different. Emotional manipulation is like a shadow. It moves quietly behind you without you noticing, but in the end, it takes over everything. The person who emotionally manipulates you knows your weaknesses very well. They know how to use your feelings against you, how to make you feel guilty even about things you are not responsible for. Perhaps they remind you of an old mistake you made to justify their current behavior. Or maybe they make you believe that you are entirely responsible for their happiness. This type of relationship, my friend, slowly drains your soul. Stoicism teaches us to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. You cannot control the actions of others, but you can control your reactions. The question here is, why do you allow yourself to be a tool in the hands of someone who uses you to achieve their goals? As Epictetus said, true freedom is when no one is able to control your soul. Imagine you are in a stormy sea. and the other person is holding a lifebuoy. But instead of saving you, they pull you down every time you try to swim. They remind you that they are the only one who can save you, and that without them, you will drown. But in reality, they are not your lifebuoy. They are the reason you keep sinking again and again. What makes emotional manipulation so dangerous is that it may look like love, like care, but in truth, it is a chain that distances you from yourself, your values, your soul. Someone who truly loves you will never make you feel that you are not enough. They will not use your emotions to justify their mistakes, nor will they try to turn you into a submissive person. My dear, I am here to tell you something very important. A real relationship is one built on equality, mutual respect, and freedom. If you find yourself in a relationship where you always feel guilty, always feel at fault, always feel responsible, it is time to stop and ask yourself, is this really what I deserve? Know that facing emotional manipulation is not easy. You may feel fear, guilt, or even nostalgia for the person who manipulates you. But always remember that true strength is not in staying in a place that drains you, but in the ability to walk away. Betrayal and dishonesty. Betrayal and dishonesty, my friend, are wounds that do not heal easily because they are not just about breaking trust. They go beyond that to destroy the foundation on which the relationship was built. Trust, as you know, is not just a word spoken, but an unwritten agreement, an inner feeling of comfort and safety. When you are deceived, you do not just lose trust in the person, but you may also begin to lose trust in yourself, in your judgments, and in your ability to read others. Imagine you are building a house, laying stone upon stone, strengthening it day by day, and then someone you trust comes and destroys part of this house in a single moment, with no regard for the effort you put in. That is betrayal, and that is the breach of trust. The Stoics regarded honesty as one of the greatest virtues. Seneca said, "The trust that is granted is a responsibility that must be respected." When you betray that trust, you are not only betraying the other person, but you are also betraying yourself. Imagine living in a world where no one can trust anyone else. How would you feel? What would relationships look like? They would turn into a cold war, with everyone fearing they might be the next victim. But betrayal, my friend, is not just a breach of trust. It is a true test of what you believe in. When you are betrayed, you may feel anger, hatred, or a desire for revenge. But this is where wisdom comes in. Stoicism teaches us not to let the actions of others dictate how we live. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not let the evil others do enter your heart." The real question is not, why did this person betray me? But how can I remain true to myself after what happened? Because another person's betrayal does not mean you were wrong. It means they chose to reveal their true nature. And you must choose whether to continue in a relationship built on lies and betrayal, or decide to put an end to it and rebuild your life on new foundations. In the end, my friend, remember that betrayal may weaken you for a moment, but it cannot defeat you if you choose to stay strong. The person who betrays you reveals their weakness, their fear, and their inability to face life with honesty. But your strength lies in your ability to walk away, to start anew, and to believe that you deserve a relationship built on truth, not deceit. And now, since you have stayed with me until this point in the video, I want to thank you for your dedication to improving your life. I have a small challenge for you. Write the word Stoic or Stoicism in the comments so I know you reached this point in the episode. And let us return to the topic of the episode: verbal or physical violence. Violence, whether verbal or physical, is not just a harmful act. It is a breaking of something very deep within a person. And I am addressing women primarily because they are the most exposed to such actions. When you face someone who uses their words as a weapon or raises their hand to harm you, they are not just breaking your body or your feelings. They are trying to extinguish your inner light. They are trying to make you believe that you are of lesser value, that you do not deserve love or respect. But let me tell you something important. Violence is not their strength, it is their weakness. A person who resorts to violence, whether through hurtful words or harsh actions, is someone who cannot control themselves. As Epictetus said, anger is an internal admission of helplessness. The person who insults or abuses you is showing you clearly that they have lost control over themselves, and that instead of facing their weakness, they are trying to throw that weakness onto you. Imagine standing in front of a mirror and seeing your reflection distorted. This is what violence does, my friend. It distorts your image of yourself, makes you feel that you are not enough, that you deserve this harm. But the truth is, no one, And I repeat, no one deserves to live in a relationship that contains violence, no matter what form that violence takes. Stoicism teaches us to face life with steadiness, to protect our inner peace no matter the circumstances. But my friend, protecting your peace does not mean staying silent in the face of injustice. Silence in the face of violence is not bravery. It is surrendering your soul to someone who does not deserve it. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do what you must, but do not bow to those who try to impose their power through force." A person who resorts to violence in a relationship is not only expressing their weakness, but is also trying to make you part of that weakness, trying to drag you into a dark place where you feel fear or helplessness. Know, my friend, that leaving a relationship that contains violence is not an escape. It is the highest form of strength. Saying no to what humiliates or breaks you is the greatest victory you can achieve, because when you reject violence, you affirm to yourself and to the world that you deserve better. Overdependence. Overdependence may initially seem like closeness or love, but in reality, it is a hidden prison. Imagine being in a relationship of any kind where you feel like you are solely responsible for carrying everything on your shoulders, that you are the one who must provide emotional support, protection, and solutions to every problem, while the other party completely leans on you without taking any responsibility. Overdependence is not love. It is not closeness. It is a form of attachment that burdens your soul and drains your energy. A healthy relationship, as Stoicism teaches us, is one built on balance, on equality. When you depend on someone, or they depend on you excessively, the relationship loses its true meaning. It becomes a burden instead of a source of support and strength. Stoicism teaches us to rely on ourselves, to build our strength from within. Epictetus said, "Do not let your happiness depend on something external, because the moment that thing is out of your control, you lose yourself." A person who makes you their sole source of happiness, their sole source of security, is not truly giving you love. They are placing upon you a burden that cannot be borne. Imagine being like a tree that someone continuously climbs, pulling its branches, breaking its leaves, just to keep standing. At first, you might endure it because you believe it is your duty. But over time, this tree begins to bend, to lose its strength, because the person who depends on you entirely leaves you no room to grow, no opportunity to breathe. But here comes the crucial question. Is it fair that you are the sole bearer of all this weight? Is it fair to be left without support while you give everything? A true relationship, my friend, is a partnership built on mutual giving. If you find yourself in a relationship where you are not giving as much as you take, or taking as much as you give, this is a warning sign. Overdependence corrodes souls because it forces you to abandon yourself for the sake of another. But as Marcus Aurelius said, be like the rock that stands firm against the winds, unwavering and unyielding. You are not obligated to carry the entire burden of others. Your true strength appears when you say, "I will help you, but I will not lose myself for your sake." Don't get me wrong, support is a beautiful thing, and standing by the ones you love is noble. But when this support turns into complete dependence, into a relationship that leaves you no room for rest or growth, it is time to rethink. Lack of appreciation. Lack of appreciation, my friend, is a feeling that can be more hurtful than many imagine, because it is not just a word spoken or an act that shows indifference. It is a breach of something fundamental in relationships, acknowledgement of the other, of their value, and of their contributions to life. Sometimes you might find yourself in a relationship with someone who seems not to notice what you do, who doesn't appreciate even your simplest attempts to show love or support. And as this experience repeats, you begin to doubt yourself, to question your worth. Appreciation is not merely material acknowledgement or verbal praise. It is a deep sense of recognition. When someone makes an effort, when they give of themselves to be a part of your life, you feel that their efforts are worthwhile, that they are valued. If that doesn't happen, you feel as though you are gradually disappearing. A person needs appreciation as much as they need air. They need to feel that their presence has meaning and that they add value to someone else's life. Seneca said, "Life is not just in the number of days we live, but in how we give it meaning." When you give and do not find appreciation, you start questioning whether what you do matters. Appreciation reflects the respect you have for yourself in your relationships with others. If you are in a relationship where your work is not valued and your feelings are not cherished, this is not just neglect. It is a drain on your energy and life itself. The painful part is that this sense of lack of appreciation can come from those closest to you. It might be from your closest friends or even your family members. This is the real pain, to find yourself doing everything for someone who does not acknowledge you or your efforts. But Stoicism teaches us something important, that we do not live for external appreciation. As Marcus Aurelius said, do not seek appreciation from others, but find it within yourself. True appreciation begins internally, from our understanding of ourselves, without needing external validation. What you need to realize is that the moment you recognize that you deserve appreciation, that your presence has value, and that you do not need to be in a relationship where your worth is not seen, you begin to make decisions that serve your inner peace. Lack of appreciation is a clear signal. A signal that you deserve something better. A relationship that celebrates you, your contributions, and your presence. Don't misunderstand me. I am not saying that you should seek appreciation everywhere. But when you find yourself in a place where no one values you, know that this is a signal. A signal that you need to place yourself in an environment that aligns with your worth, in a relationship where you can grow, where you feel important, and where your presence is celebrated. Continuous conflicts. Continuous conflicts, my friend, are one of the most exhausting things for the soul and energy-draining experiences. At first, you may find yourself trying to resolve these conflicts, perhaps in an attempt to save the relationship, or because you believe these conflicts are merely a passing test. But as time goes on, you start to feel like you're in a closed circle, where every attempt at peace turns into a new battle. It's true. Every word seems like the beginning of another unresolved conflict, and every discussion turns into an argument. Every opportunity for resolution becomes nothing more than an empty promise. Continuous conflicts leave no room for inner peace. They creep into your life, draining your emotional and physical energy, making you feel like you're in a constant state of defense, as if you're in an endless war. This is not a life, my friend. This is not a relationship. Any relationship, whatever its nature, should be a space for understanding, peace, and harmony, not a battlefield. Stoicism teaches us that inner peace is fundamental. As Epictetus said, you cannot control events, but you can control your reactions to them. This is the wisdom that should guide you when you find yourself facing constant conflict. You cannot control people or their actions, but you can control how you respond. If this conflict is draining you and not giving you any opportunity for growth or development, you have the right to set boundaries and say, enough. Continuous conflicts are not just mental, but seep into your heart and soul as well. Unending conflict plants doubts in yourself, your decisions, and your ability to deal with others. This doubt creates cracks in your heart. You cannot be in a healthy relationship or even build yourself up if you are surrounded by conflicts that never end. Know that continuous conflicts are not a part of normal life. They are part of an unbalanced relationship, one that does not value peace and understanding. When you find yourself in such relationships, you must leave them because, in the end, they will not make you better, but will take everything from you. Lack of support. Lack of support is one of the most frustrating experiences in relationships because we all need support, not just material support, but emotional, moral, and psychological support in life. When you find yourself in difficult situations, you may need more to have someone by your side, someone who extends a helping hand, not to control you or offer you quick solutions, but to stand with you in the moment, just to be there. But when you do not find this person, when you do not find someone to support you, you may feel like you are alone in an unequal battle. Support does not mean that others are the solution to all your problems. No, support means that you have someone who believes in you, values your suffering, and understands you. This person does not just give you smiling solutions or empty promises, but supports you with their actions, words, and presence. And yet, when support is absent, when you find yourself always facing things alone, self-doubt begins. You start questioning, does this person really care about me? Are they willing to be there for me in difficult moments? This kind of doubt can plant dryness in your heart. Stoicism, my friend, teaches us that we should not wait for the support of others to feel inner peace. As Seneca said, do not rely on anyone to give you peace, but seek it within yourself. But as human beings, we cannot escape our need for connection and support. We need to be part of a network of people who feel our presence and support us. And at the same time, we must realize that this support cannot come from people who are unable or unwilling to stand by us. When you do not find support, you find yourself struggling alone. And this is not wrong, but just a sign, my friend. A sign that this relationship is not giving you what you need. Support should be mutual. If you are always in a state of taking and never find anyone giving, this is where the red lights start flashing, because support, in the end, is what makes life more bearable. To have someone or people who give you energy when you're about to give up, who extend strength when you feel weak, these are the relationships you build. But if you are in a relationship where you do not see this support, if others do not give you help in difficult times, know that this is not a balanced relationship. You must have the courage to ask yourself, does this relationship support me? Does it contribute to my growth? If the answer is no, when will you start taking care of yourself? When will you look for those relationships that give you true support, that make your life brighter, that help you move forward?